भजता प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति मे ते तेषामेवानुकर्म कर्पार्थ अहम् अज्ञानजं तमम् नाशयाम्यात्म भावस्थो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता। अर्जुन उवाच परं ब्रह्म परं धाम पवित्रं परमं भवान् पुरुषं शाश्वतं दिव्यं मादिदेवमजं विभुम् आहुस्त्वां मृष्यशयः सर्वे देवर्षिनारदस्तथा असितो देवलो व्यासः स्वयं चैव ब्रवीषि मे सर्वमेतद्वतं मन्ये यन्मा वदसि केशव न हि ते भगवन् व्यक्तिं विदुदेवान दानवा स्वयमेवात्मनात्मानं वेत्तं पुरुषोत्तमं भूतभावन भूतेश देवदेव जगत्पते वक्तुमर्हस्येशेषेण दिव्यायात्मविभूतय याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकानि मात्स्वं व्याप्य तिष्ठसि कथं विद्यामहं योगित्वा सदा परिचिन्तयन् केषु केषु च भावेषु चिन्त्योऽसि भगवन्मया विस्तेरेणात्मनो योगं विभूतिं च जनार्दन भूयः कथय त्विष्टि विष्णुवतो नास्ति मे मृतम् श्री भगवानुवाच हन्त ते कथयिष्यामि दिव्यायात्मविभूतयः प्राधान्यतः कुरु श्रेष्ठ नाश्यन्तो विस्तरस्य मे अहमात्मा गुडाकेश सर्वभूताशय स्थितः अहमार्दिश्च मध्यं च भूतानामन्त एव च आदित्यानामहं विष्णु ज्योतिषारविरं शुभम् मरीचिर्मरुतामस्मि नक्षत्राणामहं शशि वेदानां सामवेदोऽस्मिन् देवानामस्मि वासव इन्द्रियाणामनश्चास्मि भूतानामस्मि चेतना रुद्राणा शंकर स्वास्मि वितेशो यक्षरक्षसां वसुना पावकस्मि मेरुः शिखरणीनामहं पुरोदशाश्च मुख्यमः विद्धि पार्थ बृहस्पतिं सेनानीनामहं स्कन्द सरसामस्मि सागर महर्षिणा भृगुरहं गिरामस्म्येकाक्षरम् यज्ञाना जपयज्ञोऽस्मिन् स्थावराणा हिमालय अस्वस्थः सर्ववृक्षाणा देवर्षीणा च नारद गन्धर्वाणा चित्ररथः सिद्धाना कपिलो मुनि उच्चेहस्रव समस्वानां विद्धि माममृतोद्वत्वम् ऐरावतं गजेन्द्राणा नराणा च नराधिपम् आयुधानामहं वज्रं धेनुनामस्मि कामधृक् प्रजन्न स्वास्मि कंदर्प सर्पाणामस्मि वासुकी अनंत स्वास्मि नागानं वरुणो यादसामयम् पितॄणामर्यमा चास्मिन् यमतामहम् प्रहादस्वास्मि दैत्याना कालः कलयतामहम् मृगाणा च मृगेन्द्रोऽहं वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणां पवनः पवतामस्मिन् रामः शस्त्रुभृतामहम् जपानामकरास्मि श्रोतसामेव जाह्नवी सर्गाणामादरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन अध्यात्मविद्यानां वादः प्रवदतामहम् अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मिन् द्वन्द्वः सामशिक्षय च अहमेवाक्षय कालो धाताहं विश्वतोमुख मृत्युः सर्वहर स्वाहा मुद्रवश्च भविष्यताम् कीर्तिः श्रीवाक्य च नारीणा स्मृतिमेधा धृति क्षमा बृहत्साम तथा साम्ना गायत्री छन्दसामहम् मार्गशीर्षोः मृतूना कुसुमाकरम् ऋतं चलयतास्मस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम् जयोऽस्मिन् व्यवसायोऽस्मिन् सत्वं सत्त्ववतामहम् वृक्षिणानां वासुदेवोऽस्मिन् पाण्डवानां धनञ्जय मुनीनामप्यहं व्यास कवीनामुशना कवि दन्दो दमयतामस्मिन् नीतिरस्मिन् जिगीषताम् मौनं चैवास्मि गुह्यानां ज्ञानं ज्ञानवतामहम् यच्चापि सर्वभूतानां बीजं तदहमर्जुन न तदस्ति विना यत्स्या नम्या भूतं चराचरं नान्तोऽस्ति मम दिव्यानां विभूतीनां परन्तप एष तदसतः प्रोक्तो विभूते विस्तरो मया यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमज्जितमेव वा ततदेवावगच्छं त्वं मम तेजोंससंभवम् अथवा बहुनैतेन किं न तेन तवार्जुन विष्टाभ्याहमिदं कृत्स्न मे कांशेन स्थितो जगत्। ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भागवत गीता उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्म विद्यायां Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjun Samvade Vibhuti Yogo Nam Dashamo Adhyaya Shri Krishna Chandra Deva Ki Jai. Chandri, to mute cho.
Okay, we're talking about Vibhuti Yoga today. And Vibhuti means glory. What are the glories visible to us, which Bhagwan says we have to consider that that is God. Bhagwan says that he is the source of the Deva and the great Rishis. So even these great people like Rishi Muni and Devas, they only partially, God is only, Ishwar is only partially revealed to them. It's a bit like having a father and children, so that you know your father, but you don't know the father's full journey into life. So you might have heard bits that your father tells you about his life, etc., but you haven't lived it and you haven't been there, so you don't know about it. In the same way, the yogis and these great rishis, etc., know a part of God, but they don't know all of what Ishwar is. For ordinary people like us, those who know that God is unborn and without beginning and without end are considered the less deluded, the least deluded from Maya. Delusion comes from Maya. We can never know Brahman in its absolute state. No one is able to, we don't have the equipment in order to know Brahman in Brahmans in their absolute state, but we can get glimpses of their transcendental state. So Bhagwan says in Buddhi, Gnan, what are the glimpses? What is Bhagwan? Bhagwan is Buddhi, which is intellect, Gnan, which is wisdom, Asmoha, which is non-delusion, which means clarity, Kshama, which means patient and kindness, attitude towards others, particularly enemies, Satyam, which is truth, Dhamma, which is self-restraint, which means you're able to control your senses, Samaha, which is calmness, which means quietening your mind, Ahisa, non-injury, Samata, which is a balanced mind, which is equanimity, Tapa, which means austerity, and Tapa is austerities. Tapa also applies to changing life habits. When you change the habit, you have to do it through the process of tapa. Dhanam, which is charity, yasha, which is fame, all these come from God's blessing. The seven great rishis, and the seven great rishis are Bhrigu, Marichi, Atri, Pulaha, Pulastya, Kratu, and Angiras. And the four Manu, which are the four Manu, are Swarochish, Swayambhu, Raivat, and Uttam. They come from the mind of Ishwar, and the creation came from them. So the Bhagwan no mind, I'm sorry, I think I was told last time not to focus, speak in Gujarati, right? So the mind, all these seven rishis came from the mind of God, and the Manus also came from the mind of Bhagwan, of Ishwar, and from that the creation came into being. So Manus are considered as administrators of the creation. So those celestial forces which administer, which keeps the creation in its place, are Manus. Why do we have to know this? It's a bit like we have to recognize what Ishwar is, it's a bit like electricity and tools, that we have a lot of tools which we operate using electricity, but the electricity is the same in everything. So a tool might be a hair dryer or a kettle or a microwave or a oven, whatever. They all have different functions, but they all have electricity. That's what they're functioning. So God is a little like that electricity who is there, but through the differences are also there on the outside, but from inside, the God is in everyone. So everything comes from Ishwar. We have to fix our mind on God. Like children who are devoted to their parents, our love for God should not be our love for God is shared love. So what the Gita tells us is the fact that our love for God is not selfish like erotic love, which is between just a couple, but it's a shared love, that when you do love Ishwar, then you want other people to also experience that love that you feel. When you become devoted to Ishwar, you get the power of discrimination, that you're able to, the reason to start from devotion is that devotion will lead to further evolution of your being. So from devotion, you can get power of discrimination, which is choosing dharma to adharma, etc. So our bhakti becomes mature, and just like when we taste sugar and then we look to enjoy that sugar in various forms. So we have different recipes we will use to put sugar in different things and enjoy it in a different context. In the same way, it is with bhakti, that what happens is that, you know, you become much more creative with your spirit and its relationship with God. Ishwar is in everyone's heart, and Ishwar destroys the darkness in our heart and allows us to see the light. Arjun asks Bhagwan, Arjun says to Bhagwan that I have understood that you are Param Brahman, which means Param Brahman is Nirgun Brahman. Nirgun means the one who doesn't have attributes. So there are three main gunas, which is Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. These are characteristics which are influenced by nature, and we all experience them in any one part of that creation. We all experience them. But Paramatma, who is Ishwar, is Nirgun. The three gunas do not taint Brahman. Apar Brahman, which is Saguna Brahman. So Saguna Brahman is when Brahman is when all the three gunas are do influence. Param Dham, Bhagwan is Param Dham, which is substratum on which is everything. So we've discussed this at various stages in the chapters that we've done in the past, that there is a God is like a substratum, in which is like a film screen on which the film is being played. So that's what Param Dham is. Dham means abode. So we all live in God. So there is only God, which is the permanent essence, which is there. We are just there on a temporary basis. Bhagwan has 6 divine qualities. Bala, which is omnipotence. Dharma, which is righteousness. Aishwarya, which means lordship. Shri means wealth. Gnan means wisdom. And Vairagya means detachment. We are Purusha. We are known, and I know that in Kalok.
वो
કોણ વાતું કરે છે?
Sorry, Chandrika, it was my own.
All right, okay. I thought this, okay. Um, Purusha means that being who lives in Puri. Puri means a city. And city is what the body is classed as. Our body is classed as Puri. And in this Puri, there is the being who lives in the Puri is known as Purusha. And we occupy the body. So our body is transient in the sense it's part and parcel of Prakriti, which is nature, which is earth, earth, light, fire, wind, ether, and Akash. And so that's what Prakriti is made up of. And what Bhagwan is, Ishwar is Purushottam. So he is that greatest essence. So we all have a Atma, which is our essence. And then Bhagwan is Purushottam, which means the Uttam Purush, which is the master of Prakriti. Only he or she or they know who they are, and none of us do know them totally. Arjun asks Bhagwan, how can I know you? What are your vibhuti? What is your vibhuti? What is your glory? What are the best bits about you? So Bhagwan Ishwar tells him, in order to recognize me in everything, I will tell you what I am in individual things. I am the splendor of the nature. I am the God in everyone's heart. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end. Of the Aditya, I am Vishnu. Aditya are 12 forces, which each one for each month. So what you have, and these are solar forces. So what you have is that the each month has the Surya, which is the sun, solar deity, is one Aditya. It's a Swarup. The Swarup is called Aditya, and there are 12. Out of that, Bhagwan says, I am Vishnu, because Vishnu is one of the Adityas. Vishnu is an Aditya around January time. So the reason why Vishnu is the best of all the Adityas is because Vishnu is the month where the sun destroys the cold and the darkness, and there would be beginning of spring. So therefore the cold, the light, the darkness starts getting less. So philosophically, God or Ishwar destroys light, destroys darkness and brings clarity. So the Aditya in January is Vishnu, because that's will come when the spring will be born. So therefore that Aditya destroys the darkness on earth and brings light and brings warmer, it starts getting warmer on earth. There are 49 wind deities or forces, their powers. And these 49 powers are called Marut. Out of that, Bhagwan says, I am Marichi, which causes a lot of good on earth. So there are 49 types of wind power, and out of that, Bhagwan is Marichi. At night, in the night skies, because the stars and the moon are considered as one, so to speak, they are nakshatras. So of the nakshatra, I am the moon. From Veda, I am Samaveda. Samaveda is a musical Veda. And Gita comes from Samaveda, in the sense that because Gita was sung, it is the Geet itself. Gita means singing, it's a music. So it attributed to music. So with Samaveda, what they say is that even if you don't understand the words, but when you hear Samaveda, it inspires you already. And therefore, in Veda, Bhagwan says, I am Samaveda. From Deva, I am Vasava. Vasava means Indra. Indra is the leader of the Devas, the celestial beings. So of the Devas, I am Indra, I am their leader. Of the senses, I am the mind. So senses as we know it, which are not just the senses like touch, taste, touch, hearing, eyes. The mind has to be present. If the mind didn't perceive these senses, then you would not taste it. So it's the mind which is important. Sorry, I have to plug my computer in. It's the mind which is important. And Bhagwan says, I am the mind. Without me, you would not be able to perceive anything. Living being, if out of living beings, I am the consciousness. So we all have a part of our Atma is our consciousness. We all have a part of consciousness, and that Atma is Ishwar. But the pure consciousness, which is everything, which is Paramatma, Paramatma means the all the consciousness together, and in its purest form is Paramatma. Of Rudra, I am Shankara. Rudras, they are 11 in number, 11 Rudras. And a Rudra means that one who makes you cry. So Shankara is the Rudra who makes us cry for God. That you know, like bhakti poets, the people who are totally in love with God and are crying to unite with God. That kind of sorrow is brought in by a Rudra called Shankara. That energy, that which makes you cry, is called it's Rudra, which is Shankara. Of the Yaksha and a Rakshasa, I am Kuber. Yakshas acquire a lot of wealth, and Rakshas are hoarders. They keep a lot of wealth, they hoard it. And Kuber was a Yaksha, so Kuber was the keeper of wealth. So therefore, Bhagwan says that I am Kuber. Of the Vasu, and there are 8 Vasus. Of the Vasu, I am Pavaka. Pavaka means fire. So the 8 Vasus are land, water, air, Akash, which is space, moon, sun, and stars. So out of that, Bhagwan says, I am fire. Out of the mountain, I am Meru. So Meru mountain is called known as Brahma Danda because it is the Meru mountain goes through the universe, and the universe is rotating around this mountain, which is called Meru, or mountain, or yeah, which is Meru. Out of the priests, I am Brahaspati. Out of generals, I am Skanda. Skanda means Kartik Swami is Skanda, and these are all the ones who are coming now. Brahaspati, Skanda, etc. come from the Puran aspect of it, because in Puran, Skanda is a general who does the who is a fighter, who is in the army. Brahaspati is a priest, like Shukracharya is a priest, etc. Right? So out of all the water bodies, I am the ocean. Out of the rishis, I am Brigu. From the words, the speech, I am Om. Out of the yagna, I am Japa Yagna. Japa Yagna means the recitation, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. These are Japa when you repeat it over and over again. Out of the tree, I am the people tree, which is the banyan tree. Out of the Deva Rishis, I am Narada. Out of the Gandharva, I am Chitraratha. Out of the Siddha, I am Kapila. Kapil Rishi is the one who created Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga was what we discussed in the 2nd chapter. So Sankhya is also very important, just as Samaved is important. Out of the horses, I am Uchchaishrava. Uchchaishrava was the horse who is the horse who came out of Samudra Manthan. So when you had Deva and the Danava, and they did churning of the ocean, and the things which came out, one of them was Uchchaishrava, and the elephant which came out of Samudra Manthan is Airavat. So Bhagwan is saying, I am the Uchchaishrava, I am Airavat. And the interesting thing, I sort of haven't gone too deep into this or figured it out, but like Samudra Manthan is a manthan which is carried out by the devas who were meant to be good for good, and the danavas who are meant to be bad. So it is the good and the bad together churn the ocean, because that's the only way the ocean can be churned. You need forces from both sides, and various objects came out, but it is I think the whole philosophical concept of Samudra Manthan is that of life, that what happens is the circle of time, the circle of life, that you are born, you live, you're sustained, and then you die. It's the cycle of life and death. And that's what starts the cycle of life and death, is the Samudra Manthan. Out of men, I am the king. Out of weapons, I am Vajra, which is thunderbolt. From the cows, I am Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu is the cow who is the plenty cow. She gives everything needed. Out of the progenitors, I am Kandarpa. Kandarpa means Kamadev. Kamadev is the god of love. And progenitor means creation, that out of giving producing children. So out of that, I am Kamadev, the god of love. From the serpents, I am Vasuki. From the Naga, I am Ananta. From the water god, I am Varuna. And out of the Pitru, I am Aryama. And the one who controls, out of the one who controls the life, it is death. So I am Yama. Out of the Daityas, I am Prahalada. I am Kala, which is time. In the animal kingdom, I am the lion. In Vainte, out of the birds, I am the eagle, Garuda. As a purifier, I am Pavan, which is the wind. As a wielder of weapon, I am Rama. Out of the fish, I am shark. Makar means shark. Often, like in Gujarati, we say magar, which means a crocodile, but makar is what we are talking about. And I think people still draw makar. Traditionally, the makar was also drawn looking like a crocodile, but in reality, it's a fish, it's a shark. Out of river, I am Ganga. Of all the created things, Ishwar is the beginning, the middle, and the end. And out of Vidya, which means knowledge or science, I am the science of self. In debate, I am reasoning. In the letters, I am the letter A, because that's the beginning, the first letter. Of compound letters, like in Sanskrit, you have Sandhi. So out of the Sandhi, I am Dvanda, which is a dual Sandhi. And I am the inexhaustible time. I am death. I am prosperity. When you look around me, you will see me in various forms. I am death. I am prosperity. I am fame. I am fortune. I am speech. I am memory. I am intelligence. I am forbearance. In Sama Veda, I am Brihat Sama. Of the meter, which is Chanda, I am Gayatri. Out of the month, I am the second month, which is Margashirsha or Magsarmaino. Out of seasons, I am spring. Out of the fraudsters, I am gambling. Out of the splendor, I am the splendid. I am victory, I am effort, I am goodness. Out of Vrishnis, Vrishnis are the tribe which Krishna comes from. Out of the Vrishnis, I am Vasudeva. Out of the Pandava, I am Arjun, Dhananjay. I am Vyas. I am Kavi Ushana, which is Shukra. Shukra had psychic powers where he could bring dead to life. From all the secrets, I am silence. In wisdom, I am the wisdom in the wise. Everything exists because of me. Everything has a spark of God. And hence this is the Vibhuti Yoga, which is the 10th chapter. Does anyone want to say anything?
So Chandrika Ben, Vishnu, Ram and Shankara, is this the same as we know as God, or is it
No,
in a different form?
because there's not just Vishnu as Vishnu Bhagwan. Vishnu is a name which is like I said, one of the Aditya is also called Vishnu. So when we talk about Vishnu in the Gita, when Bhagwan says, out of the Aditya I am Vishnu, Bhagwan is talking about that aspect of Surya which is known as Vishnu.
Okay.
It's not the same as what we look at the deities. We have Shankar Bhagwan, Ram, Vishnu, and whatever. The same names are given to other things as well.
Hmm. And it's interesting to see how Lord Krishna has mentioned all this Airavat and Kamdenu and all, they all like came out of this churning of the ocean of milk, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's, I don't understand why God would, give those examples when, for us normal people, we can't even relate to things like that.
Well, Bhagwan didn't relate it. I mean, the Gita is useful to us as well, but it was narrated to Arjun. And, Arjun, just as we are now, we know our whatever scientific discoveries, our arts, our history, etc. In the ancient time, the Puran, because a lot of these things which are mentioned are Puranic. So therefore, what they're looking at is, according to the Puran, the ancient things, this is the best example Bhagwan can give to Arjun, because Arjun could relate to it. Because it's meant for Arjun, and there are, of course, the philosophical meanings are there as well. Sort of what you're looking at is that we use all of this. By the way, every time whenever we are doing puja and things like that, we have to mention the Adityas and the Vasu, Aditya. They're all mentioned in when we do pujas, etc. So it just means that we don't have enough knowledge about it.
Yeah.
Nikita?
Yeah, hi. Just some passing comments and sort of bits.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the versions that we're reading are probably very different, but the one I read, Bhagwan basically says that whoever knows Bhagwan is devoid of illusion and free of all evils. So I kind of thought then that, what if somebody has done something wrong in their life and then becomes religious and knows Bhagwan? Does that mean that they're completely devoid of anything that they've done, any wrongful doing?
I think what happens is that you become enlightened. So there are two things there. There is the philosophy of karma, the fact that you have to exhaust your karma, and then you keep on coming back until you've exhausted your karma, right? And then there is the fact of enlightenment, that someone who does have a spark and becomes that enlightened. I personally don't think that. I think you just would keep on coming back until you've exhausted your karma. What will happen is that if you can't get to know God completely anyway, right? Sort of that we've already said that you can't get to know God completely, but once you get to know God a little bit, you're on the right path, right? So that maybe the next life you are born in, it will be different. You'll be on your journey of your evolutionary journey, which is a spiritual evolution, right? So you're evolving after every life cycle, going higher and higher and higher. And a stage will come in your life cycle when you will be born, except you'll have no interest in setting up a home and buying this and buying that and doing this, etc., because you'd be so involved in just Bhagwan, and I think that's the way it is. But it's good for you too. I'm pleased that you are reading it and you're taking part, because I think it's very good to do that and think for yourself as well. Anyone else with any comments?
Well, I thought first when I was reading it, I thought, wow, in this chapter, Krishna is really bigging himself up. He's using all of these superlatives. But I guess, one, he's Bhagwan. And secondly, I guess Arjun asks him without reserve. And I think it creates this beautifully created poem, which I enjoyed.
Yeah. And I think it's what I also like is when he said, I'm gambling, out of the whatever. So you see, Bhagwan is not just saying that everything good is me and everything bad is not me. It is what we said earlier on was Sagun and Nirgun, which means there is a energy, the consciousness, the pure consciousness, which doesn't have any characteristics. Only characteristics that pure consciousness has is love, right? So it's Satchidanand, the true love, the bliss that exists, which is the substratum. And because people find that hard to understand, so what Bhagwan is doing in this adhyay is for you to start recognizing things in your day-to-day life, to say God is like a monarch, right? Like a king who looks after. He's not the bad kings who are dictators and tyrants, right? We're not looking at that. We're looking at a king who looks after its subjects with love, right? So he is then saying, I'm like a monarch, right? And the moon gives light, the stars don't give light on earth, you see, at night. So God gives the light in darkness, and therefore I am that. So everything Ishwar is saying, Bhagwan is saying in this chapter, I am this, I am this, I am this, has a reason for it. And the reason often is just the same, asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, that he is bringing light in, that saying that I am that force, which you see we see it everywhere around. That someone might be wealthy. I mean, when you're young, at least in our family, it's a bit like that. And it was definitely when I was young, that I didn't, it didn't come from that sort of setup where we thought money was important, that I just, it's not something I would have gone after. But when you grow up now, you realize that actually having wealth is important. It's important because they are the ones who can make changes, because they have the wealth to make changes to lots of people's lives, and wealth which is used in that sort of way is worth having, you know.
I like the bit when he said he's a gambler. I like a good
Well,
juxtaposition.
he's not a gambler, but he says, out of all this, I'm gambling. Because
Yeah.
there are lots of, because remember, it's Mahabharat, and Yudhishthir was involved he gambled. And this Gita is placed in Mahabharat, right? So therefore, Bhagwan says that out of that, I'm gambling. Yeah. Any comments, Bata? Chaya Ben, Sarla Ben?
No, Chandrika, I mean, I'm a little bit useless with the, the work, something I want to say and I can't explain it properly. But anyway, the way
Say it in
explained
Gujarati. That's
the
fine.
way you explained it, that was really good, and I did understood. Anyways, and it was really good explanation. Thank you, Chandrika. Ben.
All right, yeah. So shall we end it and meet again in a fortnight's time? Harish Pai, Jago
Yeah,
cho?
I think if anybody hasn't got anything else to, Prasan, do you need to say anything?
No, no, I'm okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so we can end the meeting now then.
Okay, Jai Shri Krishna, everyone.
Okay, Jai Shri Krishna, everybody.
Jai Shri Krishna, and we'll see you again in a fortnight's time.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I even got you the 6 this time, Chandrika.
Ji,
I got you the 6 as well this time.
you got what?
Seats, I know.
Yeah, I put you in the lecture theater.
Oh, did you? Right, okay. I didn't realize, yeah.
I wondered how it happened.
No, we ordered them last year. They just arrived.
All right.
Okay, Jai Shri Krishna.
All right, Jai Shri
Jai Shri
Krishna.
Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Bye.
Jai Shri Krishna.